I'm just thinking, let me find my other phones that I can do that too.
Yeah, I mean, that's fine. Or, if you'd like, I'm happy to send you a copy of it when we're all finished. But either way is fine with me.
Yeah, I don't usually record interviews, but especially phone interviews. But yeah, I'm going to put you on speaker though, so that.
Sure.
All right, can you hear me?
I can. You can hear me okay?
Yep, I can hear you fine.
All right. So when you called me yesterday, I was in the middle of something, but I wanted to get a clearer picture of sort of what your story's about and what questions you had for me.
Yeah. Well, first things first. For both of our recordings, I don't know when you started, but we have both agreed and consent to recording this call, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Yeah. So we got a heads up from somebody that you were running for constable, and that we should take a look at your background because it is concerning, given that a constable is a law enforcement officer, and one of the duties that they have is to serve PFAs, and generally that someone with a history of domestic abuse probably should not be working as a constable.
Well, let me address two things that you said there right off the bat. First of all, there's nothing in my background legally that would prevent me from becoming Moore Township Constable. Secondly, I don't think anybody should be serving PFAs. PFAs are a backdoor way to deal with things like custody, to remove the ability of individuals to protect themselves by seizing their firearms. And they do these things without meeting the bar of finding a violation of criminal statute. In this country, we do not punish citizens until they've been found guilty, and they are innocent until that guilt has been determined. But the PFA process serves as a backdoor around those constitutional protections, and it's my belief that no one should be serving PFAs. If a crime has been committed, if someone has been assaulted, if there's a domestic situation that violates Pennsylvania statute and there's evidence of it, then we prosecute that person. A PFA is it's an illegitimate means to deprive individuals of their constitutional rights. Right. So I can tell you right now, if I'm elected constable, you don't have to worry about me serving any PFAs. It's not going to happen. My whole campaign is based on the principles of defending the rights of the citizens in my community, not violating them with unconstitutional acts. And interestingly enough, my competitor in the race has publicly posted online in his social media that he will also not uphold or engage in any behavior that violates the constitutional protected rights of our Moore Township citizens. So I'd be very curious to see what he has to say about PFAs.
You have sought PFAs against your ex-wife yourself, though. So how does that square with your belief that they're illegitimate?
Well, you fight fire with fire, okay? And when someone is attacking you and attacking your ability to live, your ability to defend yourself, your ability to remain in your own home and to spend time with your children, you use all the means at your disposal to defend against those sorts of egregious attacks. Now, I don't want to get too deeply into the issues with my ex-wife because there are some legal issues at play there. And I would sure hate to have another one of these illegitimate documents served at my doorstep. So I'm going to tread very lightly there, and I'm not going to discuss her at any length in this interview.
Understood. So, I mean, if elected, you would not carry out tasks that were assigned to you by the district court. But I mean,
well, hold on. Was that a question or was that a statement? So, I mean, I'd like to clarify what sounded like a statement.
Well, it's a recounting of what you said. You wouldn't serve PFAs if you were constable.
No, I would not. I would not serve PFAs. Should I? Not to say I would not intervene in the situation. Now, if there's a domestic situation, that falls squarely within the duties and abilities of the constable to address. However, I would not use the PFA remedy to address it. If there is a violation of law that is enforceable, I would absolutely address it. But I will not use an illegal court remedy to do so.
You say that you support and uphold the Constitution, but I mean the Constitution in a roundabout way says it's not Constable Matt Flowers that decides whether what process to use to protect a domestic abuse victim. It's the courts.
Actually, it's not. So we have certain protections. That document, the United States Constitution, limits the ways in which government can infringe upon the God-given rights of the citizens. So the Pennsylvania legislature has enacted some of these statutes, some of these laws, some of these processes. Okay, they're carried out by the courts. That does not mean that they do not conflict with the United States Constitution. And in that situation, the United States Constitution triumphs. That legislation is nullified. All right? And the people who really decide that is not me. It's not the courts. It's not the Pennsylvania legislature. It's the people. It's the people of this country, of our state, and of our township.
Okay. So, I mean, you said earlier there's nothing legally that prevents you from becoming Moore Township Constable. You haven't been convicted of a felony, and you haven't been convicted of a crime and falsity, a crime of dishonesty like fraud or perjury. But you have been you've pleaded guilty to fighting with your wife and with your just to clarify, Josh and is it Jennifer? They're your tenants?
They are not tenants at this time.
Not tenants, former tenants.
That is correct.
How were you able to get a PFA against them?
Now, again, because of some of the issues involved, I'm not going to discuss other people at length. I'm happy to discuss myself. What I will tell you is that
simply living in the same home, though, that's not enough to get a PFA.
I suppose it depends a lot on your interpretation of the law. Now, like I said, I don't hold that any of that is valid or legal in the first place. So Essentially,